He was like, that was kind of a weird gift, wasn't it? Like, you probably never even used that thing. And I felt bad all of a sudden. So I was like, oh no, it's a great gift. I use that thing like every day. Yeah, it's great. It's very handy. It's very handy. I use it a lot. I really do. And he's like, really? What? How do you use it? I was like, well, yeah, you know, I mean, come on. I use it pretty much for anything I want. I mean, that's the beauty of the Carabiner, son. It's got a lot of functions and a lot of uses. I've never actually used it. It's not useful. It just kind of sits on a table, and every once in a while I look at it and try to think of something to do with it. I haven't come up with anything yet. I think I'll just put the bicycle helmet right next to it. And every once in a while I'll just kind of look at them, and I'll try to figure out how everything went so wrong in our lives. It was a pretty good Father's Day in general, though. I have had a few dates here recently. So that's fun. Actually, guys, you know what? I've had sex fairly recently. Yeah, please applaud for that, because that is not a frequent occurrence in this guy's life anymore. It's tough for me to seal a deal with women. Like if I meet a woman at a bar and we're hitting it off and having a really good time, it's tough for me to close. Because before the night's over, two things are going to happen. Firstly, I'm probably going to see if she can pay my bar bill. I'm just going to throw it out there. Would really help me out. And then secondly, when I invite her back to my place to fool around, I am going to have to tell her that my place is my parents' house and I live in the basement. That's usually around the time where I lose them. Honestly, like not a lot of women get really turned on when they get that information. No one's ever said to me, ooh, really, you're poor and you live in your parents' basement? Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Tell me more. I was like, well, I walked here and I need a ride home. So, oh my God. I'm so horny right now. Let's just go out to my car and have sex right here. That's never happened, not one time. Not one single time. Actually, if it did happen, I think I'd be a little scared. If a woman got really turned on by the details of my life, I'd be really frightened. Like, that should not happen. And I definitely can't bring her back home to my parents' house, because she might burn the whole fucking house down. I don't know what she's capable. Could be anything. So, you know, when I do get to have sex, it's just really neat for me. It's a really good, it's a good day. It's just a really neat thing I get to do. And the woman I was with, we were in the middle of our business, you know, and she started biting my arm a little bit, like kind of a nibble. You know, just, it was kind of cute, kind of sexy, and I took it as a compliment. I was like, man, she can barely retain herself right now. She must be getting the good stuff, you know? Huh? So I thought it was a good thing. And then she bit my arm, like fully bit my arm, like really chomped down on my arm. And it fucking hurt like hell. I jumped back and I was like, ow, wow, what is that? What are you doing there? What is going on? Did you bite my arm? Like really bite my arm? Jesus Christ, you know that? I think that's gonna leave a mark. I think it's gonna, and it did leave a mark. When I woke up the next morning, it looked like a tiny little shark that tried to eat me in the middle of the night. I was like, you may have broken the skin. I think that may cause an infection. What the hell is that? Why are you biting me right now? And I was like, hey, no more biting. I felt like a kindergarten teacher. I was like, hey, no biting. No more biting. So the moment was kind of ruined a little bit. It was tough to recover from that, her chomping at me and me scolding her. So we just watched a movie after that. But we are going out again this weekend, I think. Because let's face it, it's the best date I've had in like 2 years. So I am going to give the cannibal one more shot. I think I just might wear like a long sleeve shirt for the second date. Maybe a sweater. I've never worn a sweater during sex. But I'm looking through my sweaters. I've got 3 picked out. I think maybe a V-neck. I think that'd be the way to go. I think it'll be okay. I mean, blowjobs are out of the question. But I think the sweater will resolve a lot of our issues that we have. I really do. I really think that's the way to go. So that's about it. I did start the show talking about my brother and his penis. So I think it's only fitting if I end the show talking about my brother and his penis. I think we're going to come full circle on this. Here's what happened right now. It was my older brother's birthday not too long ago. And he had people over to celebrate himself. And we were all having a good time. There were like 8 or 10 of us sitting around. And my brother starts telling a story how he had to fix a skylight earlier that week. And it was a total construction story through and through, the whole thing. And I was really into it because I love construction stories. I was hanging on every word. I was like, what kind of saw was it? What kind? Yeah. Was it a 5/8 socket? Oh yeah. Keep going. I want to hear everything. And he did. He just kept telling this story about construction, about fixing a skylight. And then out of nowhere, out of the blue, he says, so then all of a sudden I looked down and I noticed my dick's just hanging out. And I was like, what? I thought this was a story about a skylight. We're all looking at each other and we're like, did you see that one coming? Man, that was a real twist. That came out of nowhere. And I think what bothered me as much as anything, and there was a lot to be bothered about, what bothered me as much as anything is the casualness in which he said it. I don't think this was the first time this has ever happened. It sounded like it's pretty frequent, actually. Like maybe it happens all the time, and I don't understand it at all. I really don't. I didn't ask him any questions that day because I was so stunned by the sudden turn of events. But I have a lot of questions now. I really do. Like, first of all, what is the wardrobe situation below his waist where, first of all, his dick can just pop out anytime it wants? And secondly, he doesn't even notice it. I don't understand either of those things. I really don't. I'm aware of my dick at all times. The positioning, the comfort level. If a small breeze hits my dick, I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? Where'd that come from? Did that come up through my shorts or through the hole in my pocket? Hey, everybody stop what you're doing. We gotta figure this shit out right now. This is important. But not him. I mean, he's just on the roof. He was like, oh shit, would you look at that? Looks like my dick's out again. I don't understand how that happens. I really don't understand. What was the wardrobe situation before he went on the roof? Just like a loose pair of boxers? Was he wearing a kimono? Did his clothes rip on the ladder on the way up? None of it makes sense to me. It really doesn't. And you know what? I don't have a great wardrobe. I think that's been highlighted here tonight. Maybe every once in a while I'll pick out a shitty ass shirt for a special occasion. But I have a wardrobe where my dick is at least never going to pop out. This is not going to happen. I don't have a lot going for me right now, but I've got that, for God's sake. He doesn't. I don't know. And then he's like, I hope none of my neighbors saw. I was like, well, shit, Dave, so do I, man. Wouldn't that be great? I was like, here's how you can tell. If you start seeing a lot of for sale signs in your neighborhood, then there's probably a good chance a lot of people saw you on the roof with your dick blown in the wind. How about that? That's how we'll know there were a lot of witnesses that day. So, you know, if you see Dave after the show, just go ahead and tell him a belated happy birthday. But do it from a distance. Don't get too close. It's too risky. You never know. You obviously never know with that guy. The dick could pop out at any time. All right, that's it. Thank you, guys.